undefeated champion, an overlooked amateur. It would have seemed impossible for him to pull off such an unbalanced upset, but some say otherwise. Lies, cheating, heartbreak, and victory are all part of a story that runs so much deeper than anyone could have ever imagined. This is Oakwood Uncovered, a ping pong conspiracy. Ping pong, a fascinating display of athletic prowess. Some call it table tennis, but I believe it deserves more distinction from its origins. The sport is integral to the culture and social dynamics on campus here at Oakwood Secondary School.
Oakwood ping pong?
It's a thriving community. It's a cult. There's a ping pong cult.
Usually it's just a group of like 10 or so people just playing each other all the time during lunch and after school.
It's real competitive. The guys like to fight, like to play, you know. Gets heated sometimes, but most of the time we keep it cool, you know.
But Oakwood ping pong can't be discussed without mentioning the name Hayden Suslow, a graduating senior here at the school.
Who's the best player? Like in our grade?
In the school.
In the school, probably Hayden.
Hayden, he's a dog on the court, man. Last time I played him, it didn't go well for me.
Hayden is also captain of the basketball team here at Oakwood, and he recently committed to the University of Michigan.
I think I'm gonna have to take my talents to Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Furthering Hayden's legendary status is the rarity of his appearances at the table. Only 9 of his matches have ever been recorded, all victories, and few have been fortunate enough to watch him play firsthand. In your personal opinion, who's the best, and why exactly?
It's not even clear. It's me. It's obviously me. I mean, I've never lost.
Why is it that you play so rarely when you're so good?
You know, last year I definitely was playing a lot more, but it's just been tough. You know, 12th grade, a lot of college stuff going on, just a lot of, I don't really do my homework much, so I got to do it at school during my frees, so there's just not a lot of free time to play ping pong, unfortunately, although I love playing ping pong, so like, it's always fun when I get to do it.
Hayden's greatness is undisputed, and his record is impeccable. The one and only fault to his reputation lies in a student named Millen Jha.
You cannot put that in the documentary.
He plays ping pong. He's a part of the ping pong community, right?
He's smart. Oh, yeah, he's smart.
He sucks. I've never lost to him in my life. I don't know if he scored over 4 points against me in my life. He's not very an impressive player.
I like these like really dramatic stuff.
You're hitting dramatic shots. But then Hayden denied it, and no one will believe us too.
Yeah, Hayden just says he didn't lose. He's like, I did not lose.
So, tell me a little bit about Hayden Suslow and his ping pong talent.
He's pretty good. I'm the only person to have ever beaten him, but nobody believes me. But yeah, I've never seen him lose to anyone. He's a lefty, so pretty good.
So, Millen, I'm going to need you to be honest with me. How good do you think you are compared to the other players around here?
Oh, I'm not very good compared to the other players here. But I beat Hayden, and nobody believes me because of my skill against other people.
The likelihood of such an upset is near zero, and without witnesses, it's incredibly difficult to prove. Very few believe it even happened at all.
No, there's just no shot.
No.
Impossible.
Actually impossible.
Well, I don't know. Anything's possible. Would I say it's likely? No.
Is it true that you were defeated by Millen Jha in a ping pong match?
No, that's never happened.
Okay, Hayden, I'm going to ask you one more time.
Okay.
Is it true that you were defeated by Millen Ja on February 17th, 2022 at 1:16 p.m. in a ping pong match?
Never happened, never will happen.
And what do you have to say to the people that don't believe you?
I mean, I don't know.
So, Millen, what do you have to say to the people that don't believe you?
I don't know. I can't really prove it to them because I only had one witness and nobody believes both of us. Hayden denies it, obviously, because he can't accept the fact that he lost. But yeah, I feel like it's been covered up and there's nothing I can really do about it.
Before I began my investigation, I knew I had to better understand the details of what happened that day. So, I decided to ask Millen for his side of the story. Walk me through what happened on February 17th. So, Hayden decided to play that day, which is incredibly rare.
Yes, he almost never plays us.
So, Hayden is breezing through everybody, some big names like, I don't know, Leo Raz, Eric Vaughn, Noah Berenbaum, and then you step. And this isn't exactly a marquee matchup, so some of Hayden's typical crowd kind of starts to dissipate.
Yeah.
Hayden gets off to a hot start,
Yeah.
but then he lets his guard down, and you take advantage by winning 5 straight, right?
Yep. 8-6.
Then you really start to catch fire, and your serves start coming in at around 120 miles an hour.
120 seems accurate, yeah.
So the score is tied at 11-all. But then you guys just start trading points, and this lasts for 9 hours, correct?
I feel like it was like more close to 10, but 9 is a good estimate.
And eventually, the match gets so intense that you both just jump on the table, which had caught fire at this point.
Yeah.
You start this legendary duel using the paddles. Hayden kicks you off the table, but then you do a back handspring flip over, back onto the table, and knock him off to win the match.
Yeah, basically, that's what happened.
And nobody saw any of it.
No one saw any of it because school was done. Like we'd just been playing the whole day. Everyone had left. I mean, I don't understand why they don't believe me because they're judging me off of the skill when I play them. But that day it was just a completely different person.
I now had a detailed account of the match, but I was still lacking perhaps the most important information of all: the stakes. I had a chance to sit down with Adam Rovner, a local journalist and insider whose expertise is ping pong here at Oakwood. Okay, so Adam, do you think it's plausible that Millen Ja could have defeated Hayden Suslow in a ping pong match?
Hayden is a mastermind of the game. You see him play, and each shot he does is masterful. The placement, the speed, the spin. It is something incredible. Millen, you see him hit, it's like a little kid trying to throw a ball for the first time. It's horrendous.
So what are some of the potential political ramifications of Millen defeating Hayden?
War. Everything at Oakwood will implode. The impossibility of him winning. If he did win, we'd all be dead.
How might Millen defeating him affect Hayden's personal life?
He'd be gone. He would leave the school immediately. The humiliation that would cause on him would be so great that he wouldn't want to be here because that in itself would be punishment for that loss.
And how might winning have affected Millen's personal life?
Millen, he's an interesting person. He's very confident. And this win would have put him over the edge, become an egomaniac. He would have killed people by now. He would have slaughtered them in their homes.
So you would say that Hayden would have plenty of reason to try and cover this up, had it happened.
He would do anything in his power to cover it up. Anything.
It was clear to me that the odds were not in Millen's favor. But one thing that stood out to me was Adam's mention at a potential cover-up. Hayden would have had plenty of reason to do it, and it would have been easy without any witnesses. To investigate further, I took a trip to Oakwood's annual spikeball tournament, where Hayden happened to be competing in the semifinal round with his basketball teammate, Ben Eisendrath. Everything seemed normal at first, but as the match progressed, something caught my eye. Hayden was protesting the officiating on nearly every play. Then, on a crucial game-deciding point, the officials called a rim, resulting in Ben and Hayden's defeat and ultimate elimination from the tournament. Now, despite the obvious correctness of this call, Hayden continued to protest and plead with the officials for hours after the match.
Don't let it kill the hype for one of the greatest matchups we've ever seen.
Hayden's inability to accept defeat made me question whether this was a pattern. If you were the type to complain and deny upon losing, perhaps you would also be the type to try and cover it up. The cover-up was making more and more sense, but I still had no real evidence. It was then that I received a call from...
At the request of the United States Federal Witness Protection Program, the interviewee's name and image has been removed from this film.
A student who can often be found hanging out around the ping pong tables. He asked to meet up, and I agreed. On February 17th, 2022, where were you at 1:16 p.m.?
Well, on that day, I believe I was at the ping pong tables in the OSL.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you watching? What was going on there?
Well, I can't quite remember the details, but I remember I was bystander. I was watching a ping pong game going on over there.
Who was playing in that ping pong game?
I think it was Hayden Sussler and Millen Jaw.
Does that sound like a fair matchup to you?
No, not really. Not at all, actually. You know, that's a very tough question. I don't think I never can quite exactly reach back there.
I need a definitive answer. Did you witness Millen Jaw defeat Hayden Sussler in a ping pong match?
I did. I admit it.
The only issue was, in Millen's original interview, he specifically claimed that there were no witnesses present at the match.
No one saw any of it, because...
No one saw any of it.
This was an inconsistency in his story. I had to go back for clarification.
You know, looking back at it now, I do think that there was one other person there besides you.
So you're saying that in our previous interview, you simply misremembered the events?
Not so much misremembered, I'm more being gaslighted into thinking a reality is what it is when it's not.
Okay, so who exactly is gaslighting you?
Everyone. Hayden, Eric, No Barenbaum, anyone who denies the fact that I won.
Millen seemed to believe that Leo was just another piece in Hayden's scheme to cover up the match, but his logic was vague and questionable. Again, I found myself with plenty of reasonable cause, but no real evidence. I decided that I had to go out and find it on my own. I planted a microphone on Hayden's table during lunch, and the results were shocking.
Did you see what happened in the Buena Culver City game yesterday? No. Triple overtime.
On the surface, this sounds like a standard conversation about basketball, but played in reverse. This still sounds slightly nonsensical, but slow it down.
I lost to Millen.
I finally had the evidence that I needed. Group that with the spikeball tournament, and Millen's story was beginning to make sense. It was then that I thought back to something Adam had said in our interview.
And the administration as well would have had reason to try and cover this up.
Did you just say the administration? There's a lot of things about the administration. They try to cover up a lot more than you know, man. A lot more. And like this, they would dig it in a hole and cover it so no one could find it. No one could see the truth.
At the time, the thought of the administration's involvement seemed far too extreme. But with the new information that had come to light, it didn't seem quite as far-fetched anymore. I reached out to Oakwood's high school dean, Shadid Elliott, for an interview. He didn't respond to my first emails, but after significant pestering, he finally agreed.
What have you heard about a student named Hayden Suslow?
From my perspective, he's a great kid. He's really smart. I don't know where he's going to school next year, but I'm sure it's gonna be somewhere great because he's a pretty talented young man. I know he's a really good basketball player, one of our top basketball players as well. So I don't know what reputation he has amongst his peers, but certainly as a dean, like if I have a lot of kids like Hayden Suslow, I'm in a pretty good place.
And what about Millen Jaw?
Kind of quiet kid. It might be like his first time in my office ever. I don't know. I'm not even sure. Maybe he stopped by to pick something up once. But another, really good kid. I mean, I think the fact that I haven't heard his name come up in any way, like whether it be like about missing classes or not doing work, I think Millen's very studious and hardworking, and someone again that I think Oakwood should be very proud of to have a kid like Millen.
Now, according to Shadid, while Hayden is a smart, talented basketball star on his way to a terrific school, Millen is a quiet, quote, studious kid whom he hears from very rarely. Now, excuse my slang, but the glazing couldn't be more obvious. An early sign that Hayden may have gotten to him, but that was not going to stop me.
Is it true that on February 17th, 2022, Millen Jaw defeated Hayden Suslow against the odds in an unobserved ping pong match?
Unobserved? Isn't that kind of like if the tree falls in the forest and there's no one to hear it, did it really happen kind of thing? Did it make a sound? I don't know. I didn't observe it, so I don't know if it's true or not.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, did it really happen? I found this metaphor choice on behalf of Shadid to be very intriguing. It's almost as if he was trying to tell me that because there were no witnesses, somehow it couldn't have happened. I could tell he was feeling the pressure, so I decided to keep going.
What are your thoughts about the ongoing conspiracies that I'm sure you've heard about, that Millen did in fact win?
I haven't heard any conspiracies, but I believe it if you tell me he did it. If he tells me he did it, it's not something that seems worth making up. So I figure like, hey, good for you. Good job.
So,
I know Hayden doesn't like to lose. And so I saw his reaction when he lost in the spikeball tournament. So that definitely tells me that if he did lose, he's trying to keep that under wraps.
He was breaking. I knew he couldn't expose Hayden because it could potentially be a risk to his life. But I could tell he was trying to communicate the possibility of a cover-up. I still was not satisfied, so I decided to attack head-on.
Can you grant me access to security footage of the ping pong tables on that date?
That's more of a Rob Foster question. We usually don't give access to it, but if you really needed us to find visual evidence, depends on when this took place, we might be able to accommodate. I usually wouldn't usually use Rob for such things as like who won a ping pong match or something. So if you told me like, and then maybe someone got too frisky or upset or whatever, then it would give me at least a reason to look at it. But just to have a visual confirmation, I'm not sure if Rob has the time for that. Probably not going to get it just for the ping pong match itself.
There was no logical reason for Shadid to deny me the footage. He also mentioned the name Rob Foster, Oakwood's security director. Rob Foster is a known former FBI agent, and the FBI has a lengthy history of cover-ups, ranging from spying and surveillance to assassinations. The school administration absolutely reeked of conspiracy. We may never know what happened on that fateful afternoon of February 17th, 2022. But one thing's for certain. The effects of that match can still be felt to this day.
Personally, I mean, my reputation as a ping pong player could have skyrocketed if the information about me being Hayden was publicly accepted by everyone, but it hasn't. So, I mean, I'm still known as like a poverty ping pong player. And even though I might not win every single game I play, I feel like I could be known as a way better ping pong player if people believe that I beat Hayden, but they don't. So, yeah.
And how has it impacted your personal life?
Yeah. I mean, I think my mother, she loves me a little bit less after what I told her, because she doesn't believe me either, and she doesn't like how I can't make people believe me. So. Yeah, it's pretty tough.
I am Harry Say, and this has been Oakwood Uncovered, a ping pong conspiracy. Thank you.